All right, so this came up. This is from Yahoo Finance, but you can find similar articles elsewhere. But it says here why your boss may tell you to work harder soon. Corporate America to focus on productivity and efficiency in 2024. So the article details what they plan on doing as far as making people work harder because they're always looking to squeeze as much efficiency out of employees as they can. If you're unclear what that means, if you don't know, let me translate for you. So for me, in jobs that I've worked, and I've worked in IT, what used to be simple, dispatch calls in tier one, tier two positions where you would basically help a customer with something, they started pulling tier one, tier two technicians, triage technicians, if you will, for computer work, and putting them on projects where higher ups, tier threes or higher, may get bonuses for the work they do, but you're a tier one, tier two, so you're not entitled to those bonuses. And then you also get to be on call, and because they don't want to hire anybody anymore. And they want to squeeze as much profit as they can out of everything. That means they're going to work as much labor out as they can. And so you really get less time and you're forced to do more. For example, a lot of the call places I work, I'm not going to say call centers because I'm not say call centers. I worked in managed service provider type positions, and then I've also worked in in-house IT. And I didn't think in-house IT would be as bad as it's gotten, but no, they want you to spend no more than 30 minutes on an issue. And then if it can't be fixed, they move on to solutions. Now, I know there's an associated cost to helping people. I get that, but I'm kind of used to the old way of things, which is you actually fix the issue. But I found more and more that I work in IT that we don't fix issues anymore. If we can't get a replacement or a vendor can't get a part, we don't deal with it anymore. You're not going to get that level of support, and that's how it's going to affect you on the T side. Anyway, going on further with this article. This means that if you worked 2 jobs on top of your regular job, you're going to be working 4 jobs now. They're going to be doing this. And this is why I've criticized a lot of people who were saying we did it, we won, we got a victory when it came to the silent quitting and, a lot of the labor demonstrations people were doing, which really we didn't do that much. Everybody's patting themselves on the back. This is where it gets worse. So they're not going to try to hire any more people anymore. They're cutting their hiring back is what they're doing because they realize any new hires are going to have these expectations they can't meet. So they're just not going to bother doing it. That means you can expect more of the games that they play in the hiring process, if they even bother hiring at all, because they're going to still make it look like they're hiring. We've already seen that before. But they're not going to be concerned with the employees anymore. And the article goes on to say that in 2024, the power is going to shift back to employers. And it will. Because ultimately, we here can't do without for very long. I'm at the tail end of my ability to survive at this point. I've been unemployed now for 3 years, and yes, the market is that bad. I've been unemployed for 3 years. I have been playing the hiring game. I have been through recruiter after recruiter, and I keep getting the same things. I told a story on here where I had a recruiter from a company that I had done recruitment with before. Like, they have placed me in jobs. They're not even paying attention to their own databases anymore because they tried to place me in a job that I had left. And I was fired from that job, so they're obviously not paying attention. And I did update them with a correct resume. I did provide them with the information they needed. They're just not paying attention. Recruiters are getting worse because they're trying to churn through people so fast to keep that money coming in. It really is ridiculous. And in my opinion, recruiting, those firms are the worst thing to happen to the jobs industry. One of the worst things. But no, 2024 is going to be an awful year for anybody working, and there's going to be a huge squeeze. And I think the other difference this time, or the difference this time, is going to be where people may not have seen that in your upper middle class positions. Get ready, because that's coming to you. A lot of office jobs are going to see more of a squeeze than they have before. We already did that to people in minimum wage, and they've realized they can't squeeze those people anymore, so they're going to squeeze further up the line. They're going to burn so many people out. Now, I don't know what the other reaction to this is. I don't. I don't know where this ends. I don't know what things look like, say, in June or July. But I can tell you what things look like right now. And right now, it's basically being shut out of the jobs market for any reason. Other content creators in here have commented how, with recruitment, they're saying people that have been, changed jobs in a 6-month period are now unable to find work because that's considered job hopping too soon. All of the standards and practices put forth in this job market are ridiculous. They tell you to stay at a job for no longer than 2 years, but you shouldn't hop sooner than, than a couple of months. Like, these hoops you got to follow. And then if you change jobs too often, then it looks bad. And it's like, but shouldn't that be a sign of somebody going where they're doing better? And they don't see it that way. And it's because, as many people stated, you are not seen as a person. You are a piece of equipment for the office. You are a piece of equipment for the company is what you are. And if you're seen as defective, they don't want you. and there aren't that many jobs. And I know people would argue, well, they've added so many jobs to the labor market. That number is always misleading them. Right? They say they had 2 million jobs, but how many people lost their jobs for them to add those 2 million? Like, if we fired 5 million people and then we added 2 million jobs, that's not a net positive. Not at all. So, anyway, get ready. This is coming. Sienna Smith's the author on this article, to give credit where credit's due. You can read through that yourself and see what's there, but this is not good. You guys may have won a temporary victory and that you got things to be a little bit easier, but they're done with that. They're going to move forward without you. And I'm meaning the employees that thought they got a win, you'll be done. They will get rid of you and have somebody else take your job, and they're probably going to do it more swiftly now. And this is very, very concerning. So please pay attention to this. I'm going to try to track what I can in terms of labor trends, see if there's anything noteworthy at this point. But what are your thoughts on this? Again, keep it civil. Don't be rude to each other. I don't think I should have to say it on this type of content, but I've been surprised. I put a video out not too long ago, and I got really negative comments, and it was pretty innocuous. So, but yeah, what are your thoughts? How long, have you been unemployed for a while? Are you reaching the tail end of your ability to survive and live? And what do you plan on doing? What are your plans in the future? I think I've reached out just about everywhere I can. Moving is not an option. I even tried to sell my home, and the market screwed me on that. So I'm stuck where I'm at, and I have to figure out something soon, but I don't know what. I'm out of options at this point. So anyway,